Now, the last thing that I want to focus in on here is cost and scale. Now, cost and scale of lead generation has very little to do with initially how much does your lead cost? Because that doesn't necessarily matter nearly as much as everything else down the funnel. And this is something we've been talking about a lot inside the Facebook Ads MBA program lately. And I felt like it was really helpful for everybody else. And mind you, if you want to jump into the MBA program, you can go to submit.facebookdisruptor.com. You can go through my lead form. We can have a conversation. That all being said, the cost and scale. Remember we talked about before that your marketing funnel is a vertical piece with multiple steps. Now, there is ultimately, at the end of the day, a unit value per lead, right? How much money did we make? How many leads did we get? Say we got 100 leads and we made $1,000. Theoretically, that means that a lead is worth 10 bucks. That is the bottom of the funnel on Facebook. Your leads are worth $10. Now, if only half of those people actually showed up to sales calls, that means that a booked call where somebody shows up is actually worth $20. The point here is we can now start to understand horizontally a completed sale. Let's say it's worth 500 because out of the 100 leads, 50 of them showed up to a call, and let's say 2 of them bought. That's not the world's best conversion rate, but hey, the purpose of this example, we can follow this through. That means that we have a $500 AOV and a 2% or 4% conversion rate after the sales call. We have a 50% show up rate. Well, that means each one of those things has a different monetary value based on the volume of items coming into that space. So an easy way to say that you could afford spending $20 for a lead instead of 10 is to get your close rate from 4% to 8. Because now those 50 leads that came through, well, instead of being worth 1,000, they're worth 2,000. So out of the 100 leads that you drove, you've now made $2,000 in revenue. That means that you could spend $20 for a lead. Now, where this really works out is when you're starting to work on evaluating that sales funnel and the customer journey. Remember when we talked about in the qualification and pixel by concept, what concepts are more likely to drive good or great leads? Those concepts, you might be able to, they might be worth $15 or $25. Maybe that concept's worth 25. And you're like, well, you just said the leads are only worth 20. Yeah, because if you have also bad leads in there, if you have some $5 or $10 value leads and some $25 value leads, the net value of each lead might be 20 bucks. But the point is you also have a balance. And so what we can start to do is optimize towards the highest value leads that we can. The leads that are more likely to be worth more money. Because we're starting to itemize the value by the volume through every stage of the funnel and then each part of the customer journey because of the volume decides conversion rate. The value ultimately decides the unit economic of each user throughout that journey. Now, sometimes, especially once you're starting to focus on one primary concept, it becomes harder to get that lead for cheaper. But that also means because all the people are looking more and more similar, it becomes way easier to improve the conversion rate of those leads. So my point here is that you have to understand in the world of lead gen, cost per lead is one very small piece of the puzzle. And when you're trying to scale a business, you ultimately have to understand where is the bottleneck? Where is the thing where you are ultimately limiting your potential? Sometimes it's in my leads cost too much. Sometimes it's in, well, we're starting to drive a whole ton of leads of a new concept and our sales script doesn't appeal to them, but those people that do convert through that concept are worth way more money. Maybe what I should be doing is instead converting, focusing on a better sales, journey or pitch to those individuals. And if I can improve their conversion rate, now my value per lead on Facebook goes from $10 to 30. If we have a $500 value on a converted sale, what happens if we get to 10% conversion rate on the people that show up to the call? Now we're really starting to be able to afford way more money. Let's use the same exact unit economics, right? 100 people convert. 100 people sign up. 50% of them show up for the call. 5 of them buy. Now, each one of them is worth $500. You can spend $25 at the lead. What happens if you get 75% of people to show up for the sales call? How much more money can you spend on a lead? And really, this gets down to focusing on the unit economics of every part of your funnel. And you might not be good at math, and that's totally fine. But at the end of the day, what you need to be focusing on is, what are these actual measurements? What is the value and the volume of the customer journey by part of the funnel vertically, and then customer journey horizontally after they've given you their information? When you start to look at lead generation in that way, you can begin to tremendously change the landscape of how you're operating a business. And I'll give one very extreme example, but 100% the thing that I've done in my history. I used to be director of growth for a business called My Life. It is a 9-figure SaaS business. The person who was running the Facebook ads before me was very happy because they were getting a $15 registration, basically a $15 lead cost, with a conversion rate of about 25%. Now, the product itself is about $30 a month, which means that it's a 60-day to break even. $30 a month. After 2 months, that person gives us $60. Lead cost is 15. 1 in 4 of them converts. So each lead is basically worth $60. We net out after 60 days, and after 60 days, we're profitable. When we started to break things down in this way, we got our actual cost per acquisition down to $8. From 60 to 8. Our Facebook ad spend went from $3,000 a day to $50,000 a day at scale. We ultimately ended up cutting back by over $30,000 a day to get an extra $1 million a month in EBITDA. That's the change when you get this stuff right. That being said, if you have any more questions, please feel free. Ask me, let me know. I'd love to help you out. If you want to work with me, go to links.facebookdisruptor.com. I got a lot of options. If you want to check out my lead form and you want to maybe sign up for the Facebook Ads MBA program, go to submit.facebookdisruptor.com. Check it out. Until next time, I'll see you on the internet. YouTube thinks you might like some of this stuff here. Don't be afraid to subscribe. And hey, everybody, I'll see you later. Bye.